right, everyone. Thanks for jumping on. Thanks for coming in person. We'll just kick it off. Ben, just the second home game here after a win against Chicago. Just thoughts on the week of prep and the match ahead.
It's been a pretty good week of training. A little choppy at times, but overall, I think we have a fairly clear game plan to hopefully go against LAFC. They're, I think, right now probably the best team in the league. They showed that last weekend. A team that is as good as any team in this league, I think in the league history, in how they transition and the quality they have in the attack. So we'll have our work cut out for us, but I think it's a challenge that this group is very excited about, and looking forward to getting back to Shell Energy and getting back, continuing to try to win games here at home.
All right, thanks for that. We'll start. Dana?
Yes. Okay, in the match against Chicago, after the second goal, Guillermo was attended by the team medical staff. Is Guillermo 100% for this game?
Yeah, he's fine. Yeah, our availability's not much to report on that.
Ben, these rivales de diferentes características, ¿cómo está el grupo?
Well,
Okay, LAFC has different characteristics. I mean, how's the Dynamo team?
well, yeah, I don't know if they're that much different than they've been over the past, several seasons. I mean, they've always been a team that is comfortable low and inviting you to come at them a little bit and for the space in behind for high level world class talent to hurt you in transition. But they certainly can build. There's not a lot of weaknesses to this team. They're physical. They can build. They can break down low pressure. And obviously, as I said many times, the transition moments are, I think, what really separates them.
Anything else in the room?
Yeah, LAFC is a very strong and competitive side. What would be the key aspect of the game to keep them under control?
I just mentioned a few of their strengths, and certainly the transition moments are where they end up doing a lot of damage. So making sure we, from rest defense standpoint, a what-if mentality, and making sure the focus is very high as we attack is always going to be critical against a team of this caliber.
Anything else in the room?
Yeah, over 1,500 Korean Americans living in Houston are coming out tomorrow to see Heung-min Son. While they are there to cheer for him, they're still deeply loving Houston.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you please give a word for them?
I'd love to. This is no different than when Messi comes here to play, or anybody else that resonates with a certain culture here in Houston, as we've got many. And this is just another opportunity for us as a club to show them that we're an entertaining team, and we're worth them buying a ticket after he leaves. And I think he's a wonderful addition to this league. I mean, he's shown it both on the field, obviously, but he also seems like such a wonderful character off the field and a great ambassador to the MLS. So these guys are great for the league, and it'll be great for, I think it'll put a very good atmosphere at Shell Energy tomorrow that hopefully will help us. And as I said before, this is just an opportunity to show them that we're worthwhile.
Yep.
Quick one, Ben. Hi, Kira. LA obviously coming in red hot after beating everybody, scoring bunch of goals. Are we containing them, or are we going to play and win the game tomorrow?
You need to do both. This isn't one or the other in the game. The game plan isn't to go man v man against them the entire time. It's not to sit back the whole time and absorb. There's moments in the game where you're going to have to do both of those. You're going to have to be in both of those situations, but you have to do both of those very, very well, and you have to choose the right moments to do both of those, whether you're absorbing and looking to transition yourself, or are we able to pick the right moments to press or repress if we have some sustained possession. So it's not that simple against them or against anybody. But, there's a lot of questions about LA here, and you can tell nobody's asked about us right now. But that's okay. That's okay. This is normal. But we can let that fuel us. We're playing a great team. Certainly the underdogs is, and I think again it's an opportunity for us to show that we can go against an elite team in this league.
Yep.
Hello, Coach. From Quito Sagrades. I want to know if you know something about David Martinez, the young player from Venezuela. They play to
Do I know something about him?
about him?
I know a lot about him, yes.
Yeah,
I know
and-
about every player on LAFC right now.
Oh, yeah, and what you think about him? In what's the plan to defend their attack and Son company?
Yeah, the Sun gets a lot of credit because of his quality and obviously his name recognition. And Bawanga is proven to be the best attacker in this league for consistently. He's been the best attacker over the last couple of years. Messi's been pretty good too, to be fair. But this is Martinez's year. This is going to be Martinez's kind of coming out party, I believe. Hopefully it's not tomorrow night, but he is. This isn't a surprise. But Juan Guarez, a Venezuelan, the coach is next to me. I've known about Martinez for years because he's been talking about him. The Venezuelan community's been talking about him. He is special, and he's going to also benefit from some of the attention on Son and Bawanga and some of the other players. But he's equally as scary on that side, and he runs downhill very, very quickly. He's starting to really have a sense of how to score goals, and he works really hard too. He's still a young guy, so he understands his role in that team. So I'm a fan. He's good. He's a great player, and how we deal with them, again, we talked about it. Making sure we. It's easier said than done, but yeah, we have ideas on how to stop guys, but that doesn't mean anything. You have to do it, and you have to do it consistently, and it doesn't take a lot for them to have these moments where they're in 1v1 situations where you're kind of in some mismatches. So you got to help, you got to rest defense, you got to limit those opportunities, and every now and then you got to ride your luck, and you got to defend the box, and you got to block a shot, so bail out a teammate, make a save. That's all part of soccer as well.
Cool. All right, we'll jump to Zoom. Dustin, go ahead.
Hey, Ben.
Dustin.
Hey, a lot of talk about you guys and how you changed kind of tactically with wing backs. We saw Lawrence and Dwayne starting there, even saw Linger get some time there. How do you feel that the transition has been for those guys and learning what seems like
It's okay. It's okay. It's growing. We've only been living in it for a few weeks, and it's something that's new for some of the players that have been around. But again, our principles haven't changed that much, and I think the coaching staff has done a really good job of giving them enough information on this, but also giving them the right freedom to be themselves out there, and always trying to thread that needle. But Lawrence has really, I think, grown into the position. I think it's a good position for him. He's got good lungs. He's up and down. He's comfortable coming inside at times, but he can threaten the back line. He's effective in the final third, and he's actually really grown defensively over the course of him playing in that position. Dwayne's new at that spot too. That it's with losing Griffin, he's had to kind of slip into that role. Is it his perfect spot? I'm not sure, but it's his opportunity right now to show that he can take that spot, and that's what this is about in a season with the ups and downs. But we're actively looking to get some help there and some competition out wide at the wing backs and also help in the center back spot.
And I just wanted to ask you, MLS roster profiles came out today. I know Nelson Quinones on loan, so he's going to Dynamo 2 to get more time. What can you tell us about that? I know you've been a big fan of Nelson. He came back at the end of last season in the SKC game. Just what can you tell us about his recovery?
Well, I could tell you it's been years since he's, he played last year, but before that, he's had one game in several years. So this is a serious injury, and it's been a tough road for him. And he continues to have little things, and we just want to make sure when he does come back, it's the right time, and he just needs a little bit more time, and I wouldn't look too much into that. If he's doing well and he's playing for D2 and all of a sudden playing really well, I don't think he'll be there long.
Thanks, Ben.
All right, we'll go to Herman. Go ahead, Herman.
Hey, Ben. Want to ask you about Felipe Andrade's availability?
Yeah, Felipe's not available this weekend.
Good deal. And also, a lot of talk about the wingbacks, but how important is this game for Enali and Dwayne Holmes with their center backs, right? They're wide center backs, and not leave them exposed on that transition.
Yeah. If I'm glad you mentioned the center backs, and also there's our wingers. This is a group effort. You can't just pin this. You can't pin your responsibility is Bawanga, and you shut him down, and Martinez on the left, and center backs you deal with Son. It doesn't work that way either. And so you're going to need help. Sometimes we have to. There's going to be moments where you need to be in isolation with these guys, but there's also times where there needs to be two around, whether it's side center backs, whether it's midfielders coming out to help, whether it's wingers helping down. Again, the game offers you all these different solutions, and that's what's so hard against good level, high level attackers is they only need a few chances to be very effective. So that's where the focus comes in, and that what if mentality, and really looking after each other in a game like this. But listen, they're good. They're good. I mean, you guys, but we're also, we also have some qualities too that I think can hurt them. So we're looking forward to testing ourselves again against one of the better teams in this league.
And my last one is talking about that quality in the midfield. Agustin Bozat made his debut last week, and watching Son in Europe, you're used to seeing him out wide, but last week against Inter, he was kind of like the center, the pivot, sending those through balls to the wingers. How big of a game is this for Agustin and Antonio working together to kind of hold that middle and control that middle of the pitch for you guys?
It's important for everybody on the field to play a high-level game and do their job if we're going to have success. And that means also, yes, Buzat, Jack, Chaji, Hector, guys that are playing in the middle of the park to make sure that we're not exposed in there. Again, he can come underneath, and he's got world-class quality in the pockets in front of center backs, but he's also got world-class talent when he's checking in and moving behind off shoulders. It's hard. So you limit the space when you can in there, and you don't give him as the amount of space to face the game, or combine with Tillman, and then you're getting narrow, and then you're exposing yourself out wide to great attackers. Listen, I don't have all the answers, man. I don't have all the answers, but we're doing our best. We're looking forward to the game.
Sounds good, Coach. Best of luck.
All right, we'll go to Jesus and see if he's fixed his audio issues in the offseason.
Nope.
You're muted.
Nope, you're has
muted.
not.
That was a bad start.
How about now, Ben?
Holy Jesus, come on, man.
How's it going, Ben?
Good.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Awesome. Ben, I wonder if you could speak about Ponce and how he did in the first game. Very instrumental in both the goals. And I wonder what the team expects of Ponce this year. Got a lot of new players around him in new formation. What are your expectations for Ponce this year?
I think we're giving him more help. I think we're asking a hair less of him defensively, and you know, he's such a high level defender, and I know it's weird to say about a forward, and we all want him to score goals, but he does such a good job for us in that regard. Sometimes I think we've been guilty of asking too much of that from him, and on the offensive end, maybe he doesn't always have the juice to be effective offensively. So, you know, bringing some wingers a little tighter to him will help him do less work defensively. It's also going to bring a little stress off of him and hopefully have better providers around him to allow him to get more looks. Wing backs, if you do it right, you have some width and some service, especially if we can come from one side to the other. So it's designed for him to have more success, and I thought you saw that, you know, in particular in the second half of that game. And I thought overall he had a very good game.
Of new players this season, obviously you spent time with them in training. You guys saw them on film before they got to Houston. Of the time that you spent training with them in this first game, is there one player that has shown something that perhaps you didn't see on film that has surprised you so far?
On our team, who's surprised me so far this year?
Of the new players, maybe someone that surprised you, though, maybe something you didn't see on film before you guys signed them.
Not really. You know, we do it was a long off season, so we had plenty of film to watch, and with scouts and data, and your own eyes, and putting the work in on these guys. We have a pretty good idea of what we're getting, in particular on the guys that are big money, on DPs and Bouzat. A lot of these guys with a heavy sample size. It's not you don't get many surprises when they hit the ground. So, and that's a good thing because we were excited about all of them coming in here, whether it's Guilherme, who is, a special talent. I think he's fun to watch, and he's going to be an effective attacker in our league. We know what Bogusz can do. He adds a little bit of a different element, can threaten in behind and is comfortable in the pockets. We know he can score and put up numbers. Bouzat is, just a winner, a guy that understands which plays matter, and that's has a real experience in the center of the park. And then Halter is exactly what we thought he was going to be too, a steady defender, good passer, hard nose, and has high concentration, good box defender. So I think we're happy with what we have right now, but we also understand we're a few pieces still that we need to add to this group over the next couple weeks to allow us more flexibility and also just keep building this roster.
And then final question for me, when you can share, I know there's some new information you guys are playing. Was that something that you came into it, before training camp started, or was that something that was decided at training camp when you saw other pieces during the coaching staff had to play with?
It's a little bit of both. We wanted more flexibility. We wanted to have a 5 back in our repertoire, but we didn't necessarily know we'd be going to it game in, game out like we are right now. But again, if the opponent says that we need to, we'll be better for a flexible change in structures. I think we're ready for that as well. And as you'll see, as we get new pieces in here, I think that will give us more flexibility. So in the now, it's more, this is what we are, and this is how we think we can have success. But again, even within this game, I think we're ready to be flexible if we have, and then when we get some different profiles in here, I think we'll have even more flexibility to go back and forth from the 4 to the 5.
Thank you so much, Coach.
All right.
A couple more folks. We'll go to Sam and then Joey. Ready, Sam?
Can you hear me?
Yep, we got you.
Can you hear me, Coach?
I got you, Sam. What's popping?
All right. Let me say congrats on the first win of the season, the home opener. That one has come and gone. And I hear you say the team has quality and talent, no doubt. The new players that came in. I want to ask you, it might be too early, but how are you assessing the chemistry between Guilherme and Bogusz ahead of this LAFC game?
It's okay. Everything's a work in progress here, Sam. I'm Bogusz and Guilherme, they interact, of course, and there's some synergies there. But really, Anali and Guilherme are in some ways more important. That relationship grows, and kind of wingbacks and Bogusz on that right side. So and their relationship with Ponce, those are continuing to grow, and we're trying to foster that stuff as much as possible throughout the week as we train. But really, that just stuff grows. Good soccer players like to, we'll figure out how to play with good soccer players. And so we foster it here at the training ground, but also some of it's just time spent with each other and real game times and playing under pressure with each other.
Last season, I spoke about your team, Dynamo, having a competitive edge over LAFC. Regardless of the form Dynamo is, once it's LAFC, they get good results against them. And the difference between last season and this season is, the quality of players that came in. How would that factor into the tactics, team selection, and all that?
Sam, you're throwing all types of stuff at me today, dude. I'm not sure. I don't put a lot of stock in the past of how we did against LAFC. It's right in front of us. I'm watching them and against Miami and who they are right now, and watching them throughout the preseason. And they're a very good version of themselves. And I've seen plenty of LAFC teams throughout my time, and this is as good as I've ever seen from them. And it will have our work cut out for us. But again, there's a quiet confidence about the group that we can get something out of this game. We're at home, and we're certainly excited about playing one of the elite teams in this league.
All right, I wish you the best.
All right, buddy.
We'll wrap it up with Joey. Go ahead, Joey.
Hey, Ben, this past weekend in Major League Soccer, we saw a big youth movement, some record numbers for teenagers getting minutes and starts and really contributing. How do you see the youth development movement going within MLS and then the Dynamo as well? Are you getting more excited to give guys like Matthew Arana more minutes?
Yeah, and I think we're getting better in that regard each year. Whether it's selling players or putting guys on the first team, and Matthew Arana is kind of the next story coming through, and I've said it before, I wouldn't hesitate to put him in the game if the game suits it, and he's been fun. I think I'm watching the Dynamo. As many of you know, my son plays for the Dynamo Academy, so I'm invested in it both personally and from a business it's my job to make sure I'm keeping tabs on this stuff, and I see him since I've been here grow every year in importance, in the infrastructure and the money we're putting into it, and we're starting to really see some fruit from that, and that's an exciting thing because Houston's soccer community is vast, and it offers a host of different profiles, and it's a hotbed for soccer. So we have to continue to invest in it and continue to put guys on the first team and try to get them into the games when we can. And Arana right now has done a very good job, and there's been a commitment from the club to push this kid along.
Andres Linger, we saw him play right wing back this last week. Is that a position you see him fitting in long term, or is that more of a stopgap? And where exactly does he fit into the puzzle this season?
It's a good question. I think if you ask him, he'll say, I'll do anything at any time, anywhere to get on that field. And he's been great this preseason in figuring out that in this moment he's not a starter, and he'll play 9, he'll play 10. He'll even play a little wing back for us, and he's tactically pretty sound, and he's his heart and his work rate is at a high level. So we're as I said, we're a work in progress. So and we're a little thin in certain areas. So if he's got to fill in there, we wouldn't hesitate to use him there again. But we've used him a lot in the preseason as a 9. We've used him as a 10, and we know he can play a bunch of different roles for us.